Kari Lake has said that she's a new Kari Lake. She's a unifier, okay? She's a more mature person. She's not spreading division and hatred, but she apparently forgot about that because she launched a pretty vicious attack against another candidate and she is being roasted for it. Not by Democrats. It wouldn't matter if she was being criticized by Democrats. I mock, Kari Lake. Nobody cares about that. It's Republicans, conservatives who are attacking her this time. And here is what she tweeted. It was on Nikki Haley on the way out. She announced she's gonna leave the race. So Kari Lake tweets, reports, Nimrata Haley will suspend her campaign today after more humiliating landslide loses on Super Tuesday. You're amazing, okay? You're giving Marge a run for her money there. So what is she doing? Well, she's taking Nikki Haley's name, misspelling it, because you don't need to respect the name of someone whose name doesn't sound American to you, and mocking her in that way. When Donald Trump is trying to get the Haley voters to support him now, she's kicking Nikki Haley on the way out in a clearly bigoted fashion. And as I said, this is the area where you might expect the Democrats would criticize her, but that's not what we're focusing on here. These are conservatives. Here is a Princeton professor, a high profile conservative, Robert P. George, who said, Miss Lake, there is nothing wrong with Nikki Haley's given first name. It's quite a beautiful name, really. But like former President Trump, you use it in a prejudicial manner to make her seem foreign. That's wrong. It's un-Christian and un-American. It appeals to the worst in us. The communications director for Nikki Haley, or at least during the campaign, I'm not sure if she will remain her communications director, perhaps she will, said no peace, bitch, to stealing Meghan McCain's little. I just love the idea that for the rest of Kari Lake's life, people are gonna be tweeting no peace, bitch at her after what Meghan McCain did. Before we continue with the story, we depend on members to keep on going. Don't wait, click join now on YouTube. You have a conservative editor and Fox Radio analyst who said, shot, Lake has been drifting towards the center, making overtures to the moderate wing. Chaser, her actual tweet. And here's one more, okay? This is Jim Garrity of the National Review in the Washington Post. It says, looks like Ruben Gallego just clinched the top seed and the bye week, which is sports talk. I don't know which sport, but some of them. So conservatives would love it if she would like grow up just a little bit and stop being terrible, but that's who she is, Farron. I don't know what else she knows how to do. What do you think?
You know, it's funny because even before this story, I have a video that's going up later today that basically I say that Kari Lake, out of everybody in politics this week, had the worst possible week. And then you add in all of this stuff too. And it's just, it's going so badly for her that it really is comical. If you were writing a movie about let's have a politician and let's just have everything in the world go wrong for them, you wouldn't even be able to cook up all of the things that have happened to Kari Lake, even just this last week, right? So you got a judge, or actually the Arizona State Supreme Court this week, that told her you cannot avoid the defamation lawsuit brought against you by the Maricopa County Recorder. So she's got a big defamation suit that she's facing for basically slandering this guy to hell and back, saying he rigged the election against her. She loses Kyrsten Sinema from that race, where her only possible hope, according to the polls, was Sinema bringing over just enough Democrats to make Gallego lose. Even though, for the record, all the recent polls showed even in a three-way race, Gallego wins. But you take Sinema out, he wins by an even larger margin. So she was already like, okay, I'm on the ropes. What do? Let me just go ahead and piss off the remaining Republicans that I haven't pissed off yet, especially after she got the dude fired by secretly recording conversations and admitting, which people forget, she's like, I got other conversations recorded with other people.
Yeah.
So nobody trusts her. The McCain family, that's still hugely respected in Arizona, they've gone after her. Now the moderates are coming. I mean, she has, I'm assuming, maybe a kink for humiliation at this point, because that's the only logical explanation for why she keeps publicly humiliating herself and then acting like she's totally cool with it. And no shame there, right? I mean, if that's what you're into, go for it. But
some people like to do it publicly. You know, and thank you for that. So I wasn't even familiar with a couple of those little bad news stories for her, but there's a lot of bad stuff. Look, the high profile continuing feud with Meghan McCain, I thought that was bad enough just because I knew that Meghan McCain, had been on The View. Then I found out, and most people don't know this, her dad was John McCain. So that's definitely gonna hurt Kari Lake. I'm kidding. Of course, Meghan McCain says that in every single tweet she puts out. But anyway, yeah, look, all of this is bad. And look, you're speculating that maybe it's a kink. I think that there are, as we've been talking about incentives throughout today's show, there are so many incentives to just be horrible. The base wants you to be horrible. They will reward you for being horrible. But that doesn't work everywhere equally. Like Marjorie Greene can be as terrible as she wants to be. She is in a deeply red district. That's how you win in that district. Kari Lake is in Arizona. Arizona is not like deep red Florida or whatever. It's not Alabama. She lost her last election. She needs to bring over other sorts of people, and all she can do is divide. That's all she knows how to do. And the same conspiracy theories that you can stress in your campaign that help you in a Republican primary are not convincing to Democrats or independents. They don't like that stuff. So I think that she's just like, maybe if she ran for Congress in a part of Arizona that's really red, she'd have a chance. But running at the state level in a swing state like Arizona is just not the strategy. And I think that the Republicans have really wasted an opportunity here to win this seat, which they could if they had a reasonable candidate.
Yeah, and you talk about incentives for being horrible, and just kind of as an afterthought, this could be a topic of its own, but there's a lot of incentives for being horrible. I mean, I think we've seen that with a lot of people who started off, being commentators on the left, and tons of them that immediately said, "Oh, wait a minute, if I say something stupid like a Republican, I start getting Republican money." So there's incentives in many different areas for people to start being horrible. But in politics especially, we've seen it with JD Vance, right? I mean, we see it with so many of these people that actually start off with, okay, maybe they're not a complete buffoon, maybe they're a reasonable person, but then they get that taste of fame. That's what happened with Kari Lake. That's what happened with Matt Gaetz. He was just a typical Republican, but as soon as he came into office, his first piece of legislation within the first couple of weeks was to abolish the EPA. And he got a lot of headlines for that. And suddenly when he gets that, he said, oh, headline, appearances in the media. Okay, all right, I see how the game is played here. If I just be the most extreme, the most radical, the most crazy person out there, I can be in the headlines, I can get the attention. And sometimes that attention does draw some pretty big donors to me.
Yeah.
What's funny is that with Kari Lake, she's like the only one I've seen where it actually hasn't really worked out for her, just the exact opposite. What's happening with Kari Lake is what should happen with all these people who try to be more and more horrible chasing money, but they all succeeded at it, and somehow she just can't get it right. She just keeps on losing, and it's hilarious to watch. I love talking about Kari Lake because it really is just a comedy of errors at this point. 100%. With her.
Yeah, and the fact that she still thus far has not won makes it not like a tragedy in the end. So I agree in that case.